When you hop in your car, what do you think about? The engine, right? Maybe the sound system, how comfy the seats are. But what if I told you your car's biggest secret isn't under the hood at all? It's in the code. So today, we're going to pop the digital hood and uncover the massive cybersecurity risk that's hiding in plain sight. Just look at this number. 100 million. That's roughly how many lines of code are running in a modern car. To give you some perspective, that's way more than a fighter jet. This thing you drive to the grocery store isn't just a vehicle anymore. It's a supercomputer on wheels. You know, this quote from our source material absolutely nails it. Every time you get behind the wheel, you're logging into a powerful, complex, and connected computer network. And here's the bottom line. If it's a computer, it can be hacked. It's really that simple. So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll dive into how your car even became a computer. Then we'll explore the security challenges this creates, look at some very real, kind of scary threats, and then, the important part, we'll talk about what's being done to secure the future of driving and what you can do about it right now. All right, let's start with the basics. Just how much computing power are we really talking about here? I'm willing to bet it's a whole lot more than you think. That's right, 70 to 100 separate computers. They're called electronic control units, or ECUs, and they're all networked together. These little brains manage literally everything, from your brakes and navigation to your engine and airbags. And this isn't just in fancy, high-end electric cars. We're talking about almost every new car rolling off the line today. Now, you can probably imagine, when you link all these computers together, you create some pretty serious challenges. This is where that digital highway starts to look a lot more dangerous. In the world of cybersecurity, there's this term called the attack surface. Think of it like a house. Every single door and window is a potential way for a burglar to get in. Well, in your car, every sensor, every computer, every wireless connection, that's a door or a window for a hacker. And the scale of this problem is just staggering. We're not talking about a few thousand cars here. As you can see, there are over 230 million connected cars on the road today, and that's projected to shoot up to well over 360 million by 2027. Every single one of them is a potential target. You know, this analogy really brings the whole problem home. Think about it. You would never ever use a 10-year-old laptop without getting security updates, right? It'd be a total nightmare, dangerously vulnerable. And yet, cars are built to last a decade or more, often long after the manufacturer stops supporting the software. This is creating millions of ticking time bombs on our highway. And the complexity is just mind-boggling. You've got the main brain, the CPU, a separate graphics processor, the GPU for that fancy touchscreen, a telematics control unit managing GPS and data, plus it's constantly connected to the cloud for those over-the-air updates. It is an incredibly intricate web of technology. And all of this brings us to a fundamental rule in cybersecurity. The more complex a system is, the harder it is to secure. And why is that? Well, because every new feature, every connection, every single line of that 100 million lines of code creates another potential crack for a hacker to wiggle through. Okay, so this isn't just theory. You might be wondering, is this a real threat or is it just hype? Let me tell you, it is very, very real. Let's go back to 2015. This was the big wake-up call. A couple of ethical white hat hackers proved just how real this was. They remotely took complete control of a popular SUV while it was driving down the highway. The demonstration was so shocking, it forced a recall of 1.4 million vehicles just for an emergency software patch. And we're not just talking about them changing the radio station. No. They got into the most critical systems. They could disable the brakes, they could control the steering, they could even kill the engine right in the middle of traffic. I mean, just imagine that happening to you. But the threat goes way beyond your physical safety. Your car is a data gathering machine. It knows where you go, how fast you drive, what music you listen to, so much more. And when you accept the terms and conditions, which, let's be honest, nobody ever reads, you're basically giving it permission. But do you have any idea how that data is actually being used? Okay, we've seen the problems and they are significant. So what on earth can we do about them? The good news is there are solutions, but it's going to require a strategy from two different sides. You see, security isn't a one-way street here. It's a shared responsibility. The automakers have to build cars that are fundamentally secure from the get-go, and we, as drivers, need to be educated and responsible users of all this amazing tech. For the car companies, this means a major shift in how they think. Security can't just be an afterthought that they bolt on at the very end. It needs to be woven into the fabric of the car, right from the first design sketch, using powerful tools like cloud computing and even AI to predict new threats before they even happen. The core concept here is called secure by design. All this means is building the car to be tough and resilient from its very core. It's about things like fail-safe, which ensures that even if your navigation gets hacked, your brakes are still going to work. Or defense in depth, which means there are multiple layers of security, so one little breach doesn't compromise the whole vehicle. It means security has to be the foundation, not just a fancy feature. So that's what the industry needs to do, but what about you? Let's get into the simple, actionable steps you can take today to protect yourself. First off, educate yourself. It sounds boring, but actually read the manual, or at least play around with your car's settings menu. Second, treat your car just like your phone. When a software update pops up, install it. Those patches often contain critical security fixes. And third, just use the car the way it was designed to be used. And this really gets to that third point. The one thing you must never, ever do is try to jailbreak or modify your car's software to unlock features or whatever. When you do that, you are literally tearing down the digital walls that the engineers built to protect you. You're leaving yourself and your car completely exposed. Look, this connected car technology is incredible. It really is making driving safer, easier, and a lot more enjoyable. The goal here isn't to be afraid of it, but to be smart about it. We just need to manage these risks so we can all sit back and actually enjoy the benefits. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The technology is advancing at an absolutely incredible pace. So the real question is, are we, as drivers, ready to keep up? Are we ready to take our own digital security as seriously as we take our safety on the road?